Alright, let's go ahead and knock this out real quick. Get these little cards out of the way for the evening. Let's see what Spell wants to say. We're gonna start off talking about opening your third eye. Maybe someone's finally starting to see some truth, some universal truth that might be setting in. Or someone forged a signature that was trying to set you up. That says Destiny Swap failed, but it's in the reverse. So maybe the fact that fail came up in the first place because there is another one means that it probably worked. That's why it's in the reverse, but that it's Spirit saying it was over some deep wounds. Um, okay. I guess this person that was doing all this is someone that likes to run around and play the victim all the time. So if you know someone in your life that's always got a sob story and just sympathy and stuff like that, it might be them. And Spirit said, "Do you see me yet?" Um, they didn't realize they were poking a sleeping bear and that they fumbled you. Something to do with an Aries male that's in the reverse, a cosmic masculine, someone's sole purpose. There's some clout chasing that was blowing up in their face because they didn't realize you had archangel protection. And Spirit says successful completion. Something about your Judas and stuff that was done behind your back. Something to do with human trafficking. Um, they wanted you running out of steam. They was basically just trying to siphon everything you had in any way, shape, or form. You was able to bring yourself together. All three, line them up. Something about a female bounty hunter that's in the reverse, that was living in fantasy. They were offered God's grace, and I guess they just kept on keeping on. Alright, now somebody's knocked up and suffocating somebody else. They're very angry, and I guess some things are blowing up. Something to do with a Gemini female, and mad that you won't tolerate their bullshit, and I guess, yeah. Spare says that they're having some emotional outbursts that are kind of eating them right now. Uh, they didn't have any patience. They tried to take everything into their own hands, control everything, kind of thing. And Spirit said it blew up in their face because God said, hell no. They didn't realize you were one of a kind. Something to do with a male content creator that's in the reverse, and you need to let go and let God. A state of psychosis, and someone that might be in a state of or couldn't keep their frequency up. Basically, they were supposed to kind of stay positive, and they just let the world in, and it's usually how it goes. Don't let people in your head because hurt people like to hurt people, and that's usually what starts that chain of events. They didn't think karma was ever going to catch up, but it is. Spirit saying they didn't realize you was just trying to help restore humanity and something to do with a Libra. Months. A female pastor that's in the reverse, that's shaken to the core for working with an ex-lover. They were naive, Spirit says. And they didn't realize you were going to place some boundaries, I guess. You're walking away after they tried to leave you behind first. And Spirit says there's luck in your corner. Something to do with the hospital that's in the reverse. Spirit says that's the missing piece. In December, they're still refusing to admit the truth. They're stringing you along, working with evening workers, or maybe some evening workers kind of, something about some evening workers biting in the ass, and a brother. They're forcing your hand. They didn't want you to ever think you had a choice about some new adventures or opportunities. They're living in avoidance. And Spirit says sometimes ignorance really is bliss. So now they are grinding tediously to play on your emotions after they were thrill chasing. They didn't realize your angels were protecting you and they were heading down the wrong path. Uh, Something about a sleight of the hand and a male informant that's in the reverse. They ain't got no alibi now. Public transit in the reverse. A wife in the reverse. Spirit said they're trying to paint illusions to keep the confusion going forever, but the cognitive dissonance is clearing. They were using multiple sources because they were always in competition with you. Spirit's telling you to follow your intuition, and they're still making bad choices with money. To send some secret messages. They didn't realize you were a diamond in the rough. They were trespassing, and I guess that's biting them in the ass now because Spirit's saying they have nowhere to run, even though they thought they did, I guess. They tried to take your higher calling from you. I'm not even sure how that works. They didn't realize you were a free thinker. They wanted to keep you in fear. Something about a male that crashes out a lot, I guess. And Spirit says, truth be told, they live in victim mentality. I like the way that just kind of flowed. That it is undeniable. Something about some unconditional love, and that what goes around will always come back around. Spirit said they thought you were stupid, and that's biting them in the ass now, too. And now they're trying to make things fit where they don't belong, to just thank them for the extra energy and move on along. Spirit says they kept trying to put you in harm's way and it didn't work because you're unreachable. Then they tried putting you in a situationship and that didn't work because Spirit, if you can't beat them, join them. I guess that's why they were trying to put you in a situationship and it didn't work. I guess you raised your frequency. That's why it didn't work. You're about to receive an invitation from the. It's the last person you would ever expect, but it's in the reverse. They wanted to keep you in a state of dependency. They were working with a private investigator. Spirit's telling you to stop holding yourself back. They didn't want you to stand in your authenticity. But Spirit said everything they keep trying to send just getting shut out, members only. So I guess the moment that happened, they tried going in the back door, and they had people following you around. But you're a master alchemist. They didn't realize you were one of God's star seeds. That is all of the protected cards it looks like in this deck. Just fighting them in the ass. Something about an air sign, or your intelligence, or maybe some communication. A spiritual female. They weren't using any protection. A narcissistic female, and a male cashier that's in the reverse, an A. And Spirit said every step you took forward, they were trying to knock you three more back, and that they told everyone you were Lulu and just paranoid. But they didn't realize that they thought they were painting all these illusions and everything else, but that you were the master of illusions. And they're now at a boiling point. They're planning to ghost you, the letter G. Spirit saying it ain't gonna work. Whatever they have planned, access denied, and it's blowing up in their face because they only wanted to use and abuse you, and their plans failed. Have a great evening.